Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Tami from Nutmeg Notebook. We are so happy to have you here with us today. It's a beautiful rainy day in Northern California, and we are celebrating that we are getting some badly needed rain. So we have a very exciting day today. We're going to be sharing with you all about the new app that I shared yesterday that we're so excited about, the Goodself app. If you want to ask questions, which we know you have questions, you can put those in the chat feed. So just please preface your question with 3 question marks. Type out your question and end with 3 question marks, because that just helps those questions pop out at us. So we have we have Tiffany and Jesse in the chat feed helping to moderate today. And Tom is here with me also, and he will be moderating, and we will be looking for your questions so that we can answer everyone's questions and hopefully make you feel really good about using the new app. And with that, I would like to introduce our special guest today. We actually have the founder and the CEO of the Goodself app, Vinay Chopra, with us. Welcome, Vinay.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, we are so excited. And I have to tell you that we've been getting a lot of positive feedback from people. They're like, this is way overdue. It's about time somebody did something like this. And because the people who follow us are very, health conscious. They want to learn more. They want to be surrounded with good information. So can you share with us why you decided to do this app?
I ran a tech startup for about 10 years prior to this. And so from 2009 till 2019, and we sold it to a Japanese firm and stopped for about a year, took a year off, took a breather, and just before COVID actually. And I knew just the next thing I wanted to do was mission-based, was purpose-based. I knew it was going to be in the health and wellness space, and I knew I wanted it to be something that was scalable, that was going to help my parents, my family, and then just millions of people around that I know that are dealing with challenges, and where a lot of people get their information is online and is on social media. And so, I was working on a chronic condition platform actually a little bit earlier, right when COVID hit. I started for several months working on a chronic condition platform. And it was just going to prove to be quite expensive and difficult to scale that up. And so in February 2021, I thought of this, and had a phenomenal team. And it took us about a year and a half to get this off the ground. But I knew that what this could do was really, really change and disrupt the space of social media from a health and wellness standpoint. And I don't think that there needs to be verticals in every area for health, for in social media. But I think for health and wellness, it needs its own vertical. It needs its own space where we're not asking experts or creators to change their behavior in the way they do things. They're still posting great content, great videos, doing great audio talks, posting great pictures and thoughts, motivating people, engaging people. But we feel it should be in a different house. It should be in a different space where you know that it's easier to find the right information, it's easier to find the right experts, and it's easier to find the right community of people that are dealing with similar challenges. And it's such a motivational thing to be able to share with them and see how they're overcoming their challenges in a space where you feel supported and safe. And we feel there's millions of people globally that this makes a lot of sense for. The other platforms and the other social media platforms are great, but there's just a lot of noise, a lot of clutter out there, a lot of misinformation, and you just don't know who was saying what. And I think that's what we're trying to address here. And we're just going to work with the community week over week to make this into something that they really, truly value.
I love that. And it's true, because there's a lot of misinformation that gets spread on social media. And so can you talk about the vetting process for your experts?
Of course. And so, naturally with the vetting that we do, there's only so much we can vet from a legal standpoint, right? Like, I mean, we can't go in depth into someone's history and understand every research paper that they wrote And we cannot, from a legal perspective, to be responsible for everything they post and talk about on this platform at scale is impossible. But what we are doing, and so many experts have said, well, what you are doing is a huge step in the right direction, which is everyone's applying and we are checking. First of all, we're DMing them to their social media to make sure it's them. We are checking all their online socials. We're checking their online website. We're just checking and looking into their persona from a standpoint of just to make sure nothing is so obvious against our own terms of conduct. From a standpoint of nothing is racist, sexist, nothing is violent, and just generally just good people. Like, and I mean, you can, by looking at it, and also when they're applying for whatever category they choose to apply for, do they have the right credentials to be able to be an expert in that space? And we have minimum credentials in every category, and everything is meant to be transparent. So everyone can see our credentials, everyone can see everything about that process. And we just do research. We look into it. We take time for everyone, and we do research onto every single person just to make sure that our community would want to trust them and our community would want them on the platform from a standpoint of they're saying who they say they are. And when you say you're an expert in heart health, you actually have the minimum requirement to be an expert in heart health versus coaching versus well-being versus ear, nose, and throat, whatever it may be. And so that's our vetting process. And we also believe that the community will also play a big role in this. Over time, as this goes out, we're going to make sure harmful content. There's a lot of great content in health and wellness, and and I know, and everyone knows there's a lot of gray in health and wellness that some people believe in, some people don't. But there's a lot of things that help a lot of people that other people don't believe in. We're not there to police that. We're here to say, look, if there's something very, very harmful that you're putting out, or you're mean, or your conduct is not right on this platform, or it's violent or sexist or racist, you're off the platform. If you're posting harmful content that's completely putting out misinformation and is false and it's hurting people, that stuff's not meant to be here. And we're going to work on those policies with our community transparently every week. And we're going to give examples of stuff that we had to take care of from a content standpoint every week. So we get everyone's opinion and thoughts as to how best to shepherd this environment. And the more we do that, we know, we're already seeing it now. We can tell that the people that are then on the platform, this is catering to tens of millions of people that value health, that would want to make it a safe, supportive community. And if they see other people misusing the platform, they're going to want to report. And so it's not only us making sure, it's the community that we can already tell they've never seen something like this that's so transparent and that's so focused on health and wellness and credibility, that they also want to protect it as it's their own. And so it's been really, really fun to see, but that's the process.
Okay, perfect. Then let's talk a little bit, Vinay, about the privacy policies, and maybe explain to people why it's necessary to give their phone number when they sign up, even if they just want to sign up as a user, not an expert.
Sure, great question. And the reality is, and the reason is that we debated this a lot, because definitely there's people that won't be comfortable giving out a phone number. And I think the reason we had to do this, and there's no perfect answer here, but the reason we had to do this was that if we don't ask for the phone number, we're going to get a lot more fake profiles. And it was just for the sanctity of the community and the authenticity of the community that by asking the phone numbers, you reduce the level of fake profiles exponentially. And so the only thing we use the phone numbers for, and it's in our terms of use, the only reason is to authenticate the person, to make sure they're authenticated on the platform. And if there's any messages that we need to send about the community or about the platform, then we may text people, and they can opt out of that as well, obviously. But this is not something that's meant to be sold or used in marketing or any of that from third parties. None of that is there. But of course, it's easier to just get a username and password and move on, and you're in. The problem is that's the problem, is that it's so easy to do that you then end up getting a lot of fake profiles. And in a community where there's people attending talks, people are commenting on other posts, we're going to have daily and weekly challenges over time. We're going to have support groups over time. We're going to have a marketplace over time. having fake profiles is a huge problem if that were to happen on everything that we're coming out with, and it would hurt the trust of the entire platform. And that's why we had to do that.
Okay, perfect. Tom, you have a question?
Well, and more of a comment. Good morning, everybody. Tom here. Thank you for joining us today. I've been over on the side syncing up sound and such, and it all looks good to me. So if not, let me know in the chat. I wanted to really underwrite what Vinay was just talking about. We have had our identity stolen on YouTube, where someone made a fake Nutmeg Notebook account and then used that Tammy's picture and her title to attack other plant-based YouTube sites and have it look as if it was Tammy saying stuff. This is so important to the credibility of the total site and for the protection of the community. So, you know, the fact that the phone number issue is not used for, you know, third-party marketing sales, that, you know, that's not what they're doing. It's that verification process so that we are who we say we are. And so then are all of you. And so then it becomes a safe platform. We also have had other notable plant-based YouTube channels also be fake duplicated on YouTube and then attack us. So that is Vinay, that is a very, very real issue that we have experienced. And we've had
Instagram accounts being compromised.
Yeah, and then a number of our friends, some of them are even, I think, right on the chat here with us now, have had their Instagram accounts hijacked anonymously. So, so I'm going to gladly accept your solution to that and underwrite that, because that's really the only way to go. And especially when your terms, you know, when it's clearly spelled out in your agreement terms, what do you call it? Terms of use agreement, what that information is for. So thank you actually for doing that and helping keep this to be a safe site.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the different things that you can do on Goodself. So even as a user can post, so they create an account, and if they want to share, let's say someone has a chronic illness or something, and they want to share their experiences as a user, they can do that. They can post pictures, they can post their own content if they want, and find a community of other people perhaps who have the same health condition that they have. There's such an important piece, community, regardless of what it is, but especially I think if you are going through a difficult time, having a medical crisis, you know, trying to overcome, you know, heart disease, diabetes, whatever it might be. And so it could be beneficial for people. Maybe they don't want to do it. They don't have to, but if they want to, they can, and perhaps then find more like-minded people with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. So, I mean, I think like from a, exactly from a user perspective, I think the main difference is that vetted experts are the only ones allowed hosting a chat from their account. And so, you know, you guys can host chats. I can't actually on my own on my own platform. I can host chats. I can through our Goodself account, which everyone follows, but my personal account, from an authentic standpoint, we don't. I'm not going to allow that because I'm not a health credentialed expert. And so, but users, we're already seeing it as well. Users are posting about their journey, their experiences, their ups and downs, dealing with whatever, you know, life has given them, and that's going on the platform. And then there's going to be users that are more just wanting to follow great experts and be more observers on the platform and comment on people's posts and listen to their chats and evangelize this to their family and friends when they hear some great talks and when they see some great content, because people can tell already when you look at the feed and when you look at the platform, you could tell already it's quite different from anything else that's out there, because it's only health, wellness, and lifestyle content. And so, you know, there's these other platforms that have live chats, the live audio chat feature, and they have thousands of chats, and they're meaningful chats. It's great, but if you're focused on health and wellness, to find the right chats, very tough to. And so here, and to know that who's running them, it's very tough to know who's the one speaking. And so here, it's all about transparency. It's all about credibility. And here, we're never going to have millions of people running chats. That's not the point. It's the experts are the ones that can actually run the chats, but anyone can post pictures, videos, and thoughts to help the community and help each other.
Okay. And the chats are audio chats.
Yes.
And so can you talk about how they work, and if someone's listening, can they participate?
Absolutely. And so the chats they're audio only, and the host has to be a vetted expert. They can bring on other speakers, other panelists. They can bring on other moderators. The panelists don't have to be experts, but they can bring on other speakers, other moderators that can help them moderate the questions, moderate who they want to let up on stage. Users, people listening in, will show up in the chat, their profile will show up, and people can kind of just search around and see who else is in the chat and just start to get to know who is going to these chats regularly to form that community. And users can write in a question if they want to. They can type in a question on their phone, and the host can decide what they can address and what they have time for. And they can also digitally raise their hand. And if they digitally raise their hand, again, the host or the other speakers or moderators can decide who they can let up on stage to ask a question or start a panel talk or whatever it may be. And then when that question's done, that person's removed from the stage, and then you can bring on the next person, or you can address questions that are coming in the question box, or whatever other topics that you want to have. But the set of questions and the set of people raising their hand, only the other speakers and moderators know it. All the users don't. So you can know that whenever you have a question, if you don't want everyone to know your question, just the speakers and moderators do know that. And so it's health and wellness, and not everyone wants to share these things, but they want to participate and they want to learn, they want to address their questions. And so experts are looking to do one chat a week, twice a week. We have a lot of people looking to do off the chats very, very often, because they know that's going to be a huge part of this platform is those chats.
Nice. So, I had a question, and then I forgot it. I hate it when they do that. Are they going to be recorded? The chats?
Great question. These are great questions. And so the save chats, that is a feature that we're coming out with soon. And it's up to the expert. It's up to the host if they want to have their chat recorded for future use on the platform. That is a feature that we're coming out with. Just like we're coming out with support groups, just like we're coming out with daily and weekly gamified challenges in a marketplace and a desktop version of the app. Yes, save chats is something that we definitely know is on the table for us to be coming out with. Right now, what people are just doing is they can record their own chat. I mean, there's a ton of software out there, so they can record their chat while it's going live, and they can repost that in the feed. We're just asking experts to at least let the audience know that you're recording, and you can repost it on the feed, wherever you want.
Okay. And is there a specific length of time that the good talks are supposed to be? Is there a minimum, a maximum?
There's no minimum. There's no minimum. And I think from a maximum standpoint, I can get back to you guys on the time, but it's a long enough time. Like we're talking hours. It's long enough time. Absolutely.
Yeah, great. That's wonderful. And so can you address that? I heard you say a desktop version, because we do have some people who, don't have a smartphone, and they've asked about a desktop version.
Absolutely. And we get asked that all the time so far. I mean, there's a lot of people that are like, I do this all from my phone, and I always do it from my phone. And so I don't need a desktop version at all. And then there's some people that are like, it'd be great if there was a desktop version. That's definitely something that's coming out next year. It 100% will come out next year, and it's on tap. There's so many, and I hope the audience can understand, there's so many tech priorities here to get this out the door, and product priorities to get this out the door. And we're just trying to juggle which ones the audience and the community really would want. and then how to prioritize those. And desktop is very obvious that we're coming out with. It's just, we know it's sometime next year, and we want to also be transparent about what features we're coming out with. So at least people know kind of what's on tap and what we're working on. And we're going to display that somewhere soon, so everyone can see kind of what's next on tap.
Okay, perfect. Well, that'll be wonderful. And of course, everyone needs to remember that this is a brand new platform. It took a lot of work to get here to where we are today, and it will just keep getting better over time as you can add new features.
It will. And thank you for saying that. It absolutely will. And I think that it's just the community support. I mean, with these things, it's really, the growth of it is really, especially in health and wellness, the growth of it really is word of mouth and organic. And if you're attending, Nutmeg Notebooks talks, and of course they're going to be brilliant talks, but you're attending those talks, you're going to want to tell other people, and you're going to want to evangelize it on social media and your email list and your friends and your family and your podcast. I mean, that's just, we've already noticed it started happening, and we know that's what's going to happen on this platform when we try to make sure the platform is as authentic as possible to the community.
Absolutely. So we do have questions from some people. Mona says, I'm still trying to figure the app out. Is all the content whole food, plant-based, or do I have to dig through it to find my preferences?
So no. The content is a mix of all different kinds of content on the platform. What happens is when you register, there's one of the screens, there's a few screens of registration. One of the screens asks you, what are your topics of preference that you want to start seeing in the feed? And based on what you say there, your content will, over time, as the system learns, it starts catering towards those topics. And in settings, you can add more topics of interest, or you can remove topics of interest over time.
Great. And it'll evolve. Yeah. So you have an algorithm just like the other, like Facebook and Instagram. Absolutely. And so over time, it's going to learn about us. Tom, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, and well, in terms of algorithm, this came up in our live show yesterday about the plant-based question. We have made a call to action to our viewers to as many folks that are able and possible to sign up for Goodself and register under that health and wellness category. And was there a subcategory somewhere someone mentioned that dealt with plant-based? We want to ask about that specifically. But we are making a call to action for as many of us plant-based folks as possible to populate the site, because we want to spread our message of health and wellness as kindly and pleasantly, assertively as possible. And so the more of us that represent will help get more notice in the world about the healthy attributes of a plant-based lifestyle. So we are kind of waving the plant-based flag and say, come join us. This is not exclusively plant-based, but let's show up in force and send a message. So I apologize if that's not exactly spelled out in the terms of use agreement.
No, it's great. It's great. And we're seeing it. We're seeing the users coming in, and we're seeing the experts coming in, and you guys have done a phenomenal job to evangelize this from the start. And you guys have seen the journey from the start, and I thank you guys enough for your support. And we're already seeing it in the feed. And so it's great. Absolutely.
Yeah. There is a couple of questions about about the feed and what shows up there.
So Cheryl is asking, is there a feed or a home page like we have with Instagram or Facebook?
Yes, and so there is a feed. So there is a feed. So when you go in the app, there is a feed that actually, so the top bar, there's a horizontal top scrolling bar. It's like, similar to stories on Instagram. But our top horizontal bar is the live audio talks, and that is and you can scroll left and right, and you can see what talks are coming up and who's hosting them and what the topic is, and then you can scroll up and down on the feed. Just below that is the feed. You can scroll up and down, you'll see pictures, videos, carousels of pictures and videos, long form posts, wording posts, blog posts, short form quotes, And then you'll also see live audio talks displayed in the feed as well that you can choose to attend and you can share. That's what's going on in the entire feed. And so you'll see what you're going to definitely see in 4 seconds when you get in the app. The key difference is you're only seeing health and wellness content. And all the experts have an orange halo around their picture, and all experts have their title on the platform along with when they're posting things. And you can click on their profile and you can go into their resume and you can see their education and you can see their about us. And there's just a lot on there. You can see their experience and you can see their years of experience. There's a lot we're trying to make as transparent as possible. So it's not just the expert's responsibility, but it's also the community's responsibility that when someone is saying something to you, what is their credibility? And make sure that you know that the person saying that information is credible. And of course, that's what we're trying to make sure happens on the platform, but it's just with the scale of it, there's going to be times where people are skirting these things. And the community has to also take it upon themselves to make sure that where are they getting this information from who? Just like they want to share you to a bunch of other people, they need to also see who's saying what to make sure that the person in heart health is talking about cardiology, the person in other areas is talking about what they're supposed to talk about. And if they're going to other areas and talking about other areas, they're letting them know that they're not the expert, but here's what their opinions are. Every post, one of the things for credibility is every post, one of the icons next to the post shows reference links. So if someone's posting something and they want to back up the claim with credible resourcing, harvard.edu or whatever it may be, you can post that supporting article in the references area and the references link. It makes it just much more clear to the audience that what you're saying has a supporting claim to it. And we're going to keep adding more and more features over time to further increase the credibility and lower misinformation in the community.
Wonderful. Can you talk about how they can see the difference between a user and an expert just by looking at the person's profile?
It's just an orange line, an orange halo around their picture. If you don't see an orange line around that person's picture, if you don't see a title in that picture's profile, in that person's profile, sorry, they're not an expert. Now, there could be experts that have applied to be an expert, that they're pending experts. You'll see them as users. Until they're approved as experts, they're users. So they're not allowed starting talks. They're not allowed doing certain things until they're approved. Once
Okay,
they're
great.
approved, that orange halo.
Okay, so just look for that. And then what about the town halls? When will those start? And what are they?
Those are starting next week. And so the town halls are they're just open forums where, I'm going to be one of the key speakers, but there's just open forums for us to explain what's going on in the app, give any updates, and really primarily, it's an open forum to take questions from the audience, both experts and users, to take questions from the audience of what do you guys want, whether they're written questions that you submit, or if we're able to have time to let people on stage, which we want to do, time permitting, is ask away. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, and everyone has been so kind in that they know, just like you, Tammy, and just like you, Tammy, and Thomas said, that this is a huge undertaking. It's been such a huge undertaking for us to create, and you guys have been with me from the start, so you know exactly what we went through. But there's definitely things that aren't perfect, and we know that. And I think the community has been so kind so far that they understand and appreciate the effort that it took to get 3, 4, 5 different concepts into one app that made it easy to use from anyone from a 25-year-old to a 65-year-old and onwards. And so it's just, we wanted to make it as easy as possible for everyone to be on the platform, but there's definitely going to be some issues that people are going to run into, and everyone has been so kind in terms of letting us know about them. Please tell us during these town halls what you like, what you don't like. Ideally be kind, but tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. And we want to work through fixing the things that people don't like, because it helps the entire community. And we want to share content moderation decisions we had to make where things were clearly harmful or people were clearly harmful on the platform. And we want to share those. We're not going to give any names, but we want to share examples of stuff that we had to moderate. And here's why, and take in your guys' thoughts as to, did we do right by that? And additional features we're coming out with, talk about the community about that, when we're coming out with them, feedback on what we should do and what we shouldn't do, and include highlighting certain experts that have been doing great on the community that want to share certain stories. And then highlight talks and highlight posts that are happening. And we're going to have a weekly newsletter that comes out that also highlights a lot of great things and highlights great experts and highlight great things that have happened and great stories. And we also have a Goodself account on the platform that everybody automatically follows. And we're posting there very, very regularly. We're also going to be highlighting great talks that happened this week, great talks that happened around nutrition, great posts that happened around mental health. And we're going to be doing that very, very regularly, along with our external social media campaigns. But our own account, we're going to use it to really highlight great things and great stories in the community, in the Goodself community.
I love that because, on Facebook and Instagram, we really have no way of contacting them. And I mean, you can send them a message, but you never hear back,
Sure.
And so I think that's wonderful because you're going to be really connected and on top of what people want to see. So for those town halls, how do we find out when they will be happening?
We're going to be listing them. So they're going to be listed on our website. They're going to be listed in the newsletters. They're also going to be listed within the app. So on the top bar of the app, you'll see a horizontal scroll with live chats that are going to be upcoming chats that are happening. Chats are going live. We call them Good Talks. Good Talks are going live December 5th, Monday, December 5th. Mm-hmm. And one of them that's going to be live, that's going to be upcoming, is going to show on that bar is ours. And you'll see it clearly that that's going to be our first town hall that we're going to do. And and you can then click on that and you can choose to attend it. And everyone that follows our account, which is everyone, and everyone that clicks to attend it will get a push notification a few minutes before the talk starts to remind them that the talk is starting. And so that's where it's a huge part of being able to make sure you follow those people's accounts. So if you want to follow great talks that Nutmeg Notebook is doing, well, make sure you follow them. So if you follow them, then you will at least be updated. Even if you didn't click to attend, which if you couldn't commit or whatever it may be, you will at least be reminded. We'd always ask for sure to click to attend because it helps the community. But if you can't, you'll still be reminded that that talk is coming up. And so that's how there's various ways that people are going to know when those town halls are starting and where they are, for sure. And we're also going to have, over time, we're going to have, and I think we're going to mix it in with part of the town halls as well, of just user and expert onboarding. And just, we're going to mix it in with all of it. So like new users, new experts, teaching a little bit about the platform. And I think we're going to mix it in all with the town halls. So people start getting a little bit of a 101 of Goodself, but then really then focus on content moderation, features, and addressing questions in the audience.
Okay, I love that. That's great. Thank you. So Cheryl asks, how do we connect with like-minded people on Goodself?
So Cheryl, great question. And I think right now, to be very honest with you, is that because it's so new, people are going to slowly fill in their profiles. And so every profile that's out there, every user has a profile. You can edit your bio. You can put information that you want there that you want to share with other people about you. And so, when you pick the categories of interest on onboarding and registration, that doesn't get shared with anybody. That's not shown. We want to keep that private on purpose. Otherwise, people will be hesitant about what categories they select of our interest to them. But right now, it's people looking at other people's profiles and seeing if there's any common connections based on their bio. Now, there's going to be profiles that haven't filled out a bio. There's going to be some that have. What's going to end up happening is people that attend talks are going to form their own communities. People that are attending those weekly talks by whichever expert on the platform, or twice a week or once a month or whatever it may be, you're going to start seeing similar people attending them, and you're going to see it growing every week. And people will start forming their communities, and people will start following each other and DMing each other through that. And that's We know that's going to happen. And without a doubt, when we add daily and weekly gamified challenges, water challenge, a gratitude challenge, a walking challenge, whatever it may be, and we add support groups, expert-led support groups, the concept of community will be a whole lot more with those two add-ons. But even without that, just the live audio chats on a weekly basis, you start building clusters of communities with the people that are attending those chats on a week-to-week basis. And people have seen that on all the other platforms that have audio chats. We know that's going to happen even more pronounced, given this is health and wellness.
Absolutely. And it organically happens, just like how, our community has found us here on YouTube, and over months and now years, they've become friends with one another.
Cool.
And it just organically happens. Thank you. So we have a question from Marilyn, and she wants to know, is our phone number visible to other users?
Oh, absolutely not. Not your phone number, your date of birth, none of the stuff, none of the stuff that you feel should remain private is there. Now, your city and your state, or your city and your province, do show from a community standpoint. We did say that. So we do have that. So if it's, wherever it may be, Miami, Florida, or wherever, you're going to see on that person's profile, Miami, Florida. And we're going to add certain things over time to get people to connect with others in a more meaningful way. And we're coming out with a lot more features for that. But absolutely, phone number, date of birth are not there. No one can see that, along with your selections of what categories are of interest to you.
Okay, perfect. Mona wants to know, can I transfer the app to my TV for larger viewing?
So you can, as much as, so if you already transfer whatever's on, people can like Chromecast this or whatever it may be, from in terms of like or through Apple TV, to actually share what's on their screen and show up on their TV. So that aspect, absolutely, you can do that, and you can scroll around with it, but you're scrolling and you're doing it on your phone, but you're looking at the TV, and that's the screen that you're using. That for sure, that aspect is there. You can also access this from tablets as well.
Nice. Wonderful. See, you're just a wealth of information. Okay, so we have a question from Mary, and she had a little bit of trouble when she was trying to download the app. She said she can't get past downloading her photo. It won't accept her photo. She uninstalled and reinstalled the app. Do you have any advice for her?
Great question. And you know what? That's one of the things that when you build this out, the mass majority of people have had no issue with that. And to be very transparent with you, there's been a few people in the last 24 hours that have come up and said, I'm getting stuck on the picture. So what we're actually doing, to be very honest with you, it's just been this morning that we've been in a ton of meetings where we're making it optional. So if you're gonna run into an error, we're gonna make it optional so you can get by that. The reason from a transparent standpoint of why there's an error, it has to do with the servers and where the pictures get uploaded, and it has to get uploaded to various little buckets. And if any of the buckets fail with internet connection or whatever it may be, it's not uploading properly. And so we are making sure that people don't run into that issue that she ran into. And I'm really sorry that you had to run into that issue, especially trusting us with wanting to be in the app, and then you ran into that challenge. That is going to be fixed within the next couple of days. But the people that have run into that, if they uninstall or reinstall, if they do it a couple times, everyone's been able to get in. And so if you try that a couple times, it should work. Otherwise, we are pushing an update to that very, very shortly.
Okay, fantastic. What about, someone left me a message yesterday and said that they are in Europe and they weren't able to get the app. But are you global?
We are global, but there's definitely some countries that we're just mapping out the rollout schedule of it. And so, North America and certain parts of Europe and certain parts of Asia and certain parts of Australia, they have access to it. And there's certain countries and regions that don't. We intend to have it globally. We were just doing there's a, we're doing a careful rollout of it in certain countries. And so if you were to let me know what those countries are, we can make sure that we add that to the list.
Okay, great. And I don't have that.
No problem. If you guys want to send me a message, you can DM me, you can send me a message, you can email me. I'd be glad to, or anyone on our team would be glad to make sure that we include that into our path of global add-ons.
Okay, fantastic. Then Mona says, this is kind of directed at Tom and I, is Nutmeg Notebook going to start doing lives like today, but only on the new app? And how will we find out? We're not leaving YouTube. I don't want you guys to think that we're going to abandon the platforms that we are currently on. We are doing Goodself in addition to what we're already doing, because we love that it is focused on health and wellness. And, it's our mission to share about a whole food, plant-based lifestyle, but we will not abandon you.
Thank
here. We are going to, be on Goodself and here, just like we always have. But we hope that you will join us on Goodself, because, there may be content that we will share that will only be on Goodself, because it is a health and wellness platform. And so, we're interested in being able to do the interactive live chats there, I lost the name, Good Talks there. And so we hope that you'll join, because we feel like we will be able to offer, different information in different ways, depending on the platform that we're on. So Mona wants to know, can she go back in and change her preferences?
She can. And so to go back in and change your preferences, and I'm going to add another answer to that as well, that some people want to change their profile. So they want to change their handle or their city. That is a feature that's coming very, very soon. So if there's a mistake that was made or something, let us know and we can amend it. So, but right now we can amend it. We're going to let users be able to amend and experts be able to amend certain aspects of their profile without contacting us. Certain aspects, rightfully so, should be contacting us. You shouldn't be able to change your title or anything like that, because you got vetted for that title. And so reaching out to us that you want to add something onto it, or you got another, PhD or whatever it may be, then we're doing that. Now, in terms of, oh my God, now I'm the one who missed the train. The question was not about profile. It was about preferences.
Preferences.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Is that you can go, if you click on profile. So on one of the buttons on the bottom, one of them is profile. If you click on profile, then the top, there's 3 dots. If you click those 3 dots, there's settings. You'll see settings pop up. I think one of them also is going to say categories. You can click categories, and that can edit you can add or subtract categories of interest whenever you want to.
Okay, excellent. That's very helpful. Jesse wants to know, will the app accept a landline phone as opposed to a cell phone number if someone doesn't have a cell phone number?
No, unfortunately not. And we're really sorry about that, but unfortunately not. Now, what you can do is that we totally recognize there's going to be people that don't have phones, or that have poor connection, or that don't like using their phone often. And so what you can do is, if there's, if there is a phone that you can get access to, that you can use the code for, where you can authenticate yourself and get on it, you can also add a password in. And if you want to add a password, then going forward, you don't have to log in with that cell phone. So you can log in with your username and your password, and then you're in. So some experts have teams, and they want their team to help them, curate content and help them with some stuff. The experts are approving everything, but they sometimes want their team involved as well to help them. And so if people are having trouble registering without the cell phone, with the cell phone, the challenge is that the starting point has to be the cell phone. That has to be the cell phone. You just don't have to be stuck to that permanently if you add a password, and the password is in settings.
Okay, perfect. Marie says that there was no way to hit enter with the code that was sent to her phone.
Okay, that's interesting as well. So I just want to make sure that the team looks into that, because if I mean, obviously we've tested so many things to no end, but we know there's going to be certain aspects in certain pockets at certain regions that something doesn't go right. And so all I would say is, again, if you could close the app and reopen it, or maybe uninstall the app and reinstall it, it really, really should work. Make sure that you're in a region that you're getting good reception and you're getting text messages. And once you get that code, and if you're saying, well, it's not a matter of getting the code, it's a matter of populating that code. It's a matter of populating that code into the entry box. That is where, try that, and we'll see. Hopefully that works.
Okay, thank you. Also, I want to let people know that if you go to the website, the goodself.com website, there's frequently asked questions there, and there's also videos for new users. So you can look at the frequently asked questions for users, and then there are some videos showing you how to do some of the tasks that you guys are asking about. And that can be very helpful because you're looking at a screen and they're showing you step by step what you need to do. Cheryl's asking, where do you add tags for your interests? I think maybe she means her preferences.
Well, is
And that would,
for the post? Is it tags for the
well, she says interest. So Cheryl, if you could clarify.
I think that is at the very beginning when you're categorizing your areas of interest.
Well, that's preferences.
That's during the sign up.
Isn't it?
The content preferences is at the initial sign up. So that might be the place to start with that.
But every expert and user, they're posting content, and if users are posting content, you're picking the category that your content is in, you're putting in a title, you're putting in a caption. You can also tag other users. You can also create hashtags and add hashtags to your post. So you'll see in the feed, if you're in the feed, you'll see these gray things that you can scroll left, scroll horizontally on. And those are all tags. Those are all hashtags that you can click into, and you can follow those hashtags and get more content around those hashtags.
Okay, thank you. Lisa says, can we customize our feed to only see the people that we follow?
You cannot right now. No, you cannot. Okay. Simple answer right now is you cannot. That would be something that totally agree makes sense, and we will have that over time. Right now, it's because discovery is a huge thing right now, and people want to discover other experts and other users, and so it's a huge aspect of being able to find other people that you don't know and find other great experts that you don't know that are posting great, meaningful content, and being able to follow them. Versus if it's just people that you follow, it'll be a little bit harder to discover other great experts that can help you on your health and wellness journey.
Absolutely. And we're hoping over time that there gets to be, more and more for our community, more and more whole food, plant-based people to follow. So, and for those of you who are having trouble, please go to the website and please look at the frequently asked questions and follow those videos, because I think that's going to help you a lot. Marcia wants to know, will these talks be available after the live? At this time, you said no, the good talks will not be recorded yet, but if the individual expert wants to record them and then post them on their feed, they would have the ability to do that.
Exactly.
Karen says, if you're getting notifications for chats that you want to attend, are you also going to get notifications anytime anyone you follow is speaking?
Yes. So you're getting, in terms of talks, you're getting, Nutmeg Notebook is doing a talk. and you haven't attended it, you haven't clicked the button to attend it. And of course we ask, and it helps everyone if you click to attend it, but if you chose not to attend it, you still won't miss it from a standpoint of you're also going to get that push notification a few minutes before the talk starts to let you know that it's starting soon, and you can click that and then you can join to attend.
Hey, Tom, do you have another question?
Yeah, we do. Well, there is a question here from Sherry, and I want to address it. We kind of touched on it earlier when I was talking about inviting our plant-based community to get on the platform as much as possible. In terms of behavior and dealing with other philosophies, other lifestyle philosophies, we have a philosophy of being respectful. We try, for the most part, to talk about what we believe are the positive attributes of what we profess as our lifestyle. There are other lifestyles out there that are, pretty much the opposite of plant-based, without going further with that conversation. And we may, make an inference to them once in a while, but we don't openly attack individuals or doctrine or anything like that. Our vetted doctors, a lot of the medical professions in the plant-based community are very specific about their feeling on lifestyles that are harmful to health, and that's been proven through science. But the Goodself platform is moderated. So if we got out of line and we're attacking individuals or inappropriately attacking other philosophies, we would be moderated by Vinay. So we have to behave ourselves. We would ask that others behave themselves. So of course, there's potential for that. And in some platforms, it does get heated. There have been talk shows where they'll get different philosophies and, doctors from different philosophies, and they kind of have little debates on, formal debates on a moderated platform. So I think the answer is this is a moderated platform. And so it's not the Wild West. People will need to behave themselves. Is that well said for you, Vinay? Am I okay with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's
okay. Yeah. The concern is that, there is one other philosophy that's really counter to ours. And we just want to, not get too pointed on how we're doing
it. So look, I think that there's a way to disagree, but be respectful. And I think that that's really what we look for on this platform. There's no way everyone's going to agree with everything. It's impossible, especially in health and wellness. And so we definitely do ask for healthy debate. Of course we do, at different points of view. Just be respectful, be kind, and that's all we ask for. And we have a team watching this and helping to moderate this. And over time, we're going to be building a medical advisory board. There's a lot that we're doing because this moderation of content is a huge undertaking, especially at scale. And we're going to work with the community very closely. The benefit that we have is we feel that this community is going to be very, very loyal and very protective of the community in a good way and very supportive of it, that if they see things going out of line, they also want to catch it even before we do.
Yeah, I think that's true. Oh, we have a really good question from Lori Herman. She says, which level of phones do you need to have in order to be able to use the app? Many apps are not updating or simply don't work with older models of cell technology.
I would have to get back to you on that one. So that
okay.
With you, I definitely don't know the answer to that. We tried to make it backwards compatible as far back as we could possibly go.
Okay.
Absolutely know that it's not just the latest phones by any means. I just don't know the right OS number to tell you guys, but I can let Tami, if it's okay, I can let you know. And if you want to share that with your community on what those are.
But you haven't been getting any feedback from a large number of people saying the app doesn't work on my phone.
No. And not to say, to be very transparent with you, not to say it's not happening. It's just that we've not heard about it yet at all from anybody.
Right. And of course, you guys, it's always important to make sure you have the latest update on your phone so that so it is functioning at its best.
Yeah, we're functioning well with we're Apple device folks. And so we're functioning well with iPhone XS as our version. And I still have my old iPhone 6S, which is pretty much used as a Spotify Pandora music machine on a speaker
Well,
device.
I think, Tom, if I can even interrupt there, but like the reality though is that, but you can still update your OS, and it's linked to your OS. And so even if you have an older device, you can update the OS and it should work. But I'll definitely
it just may run very slow. And then worst case scenarios, I still have my old iPad 2, and it does not accept new applications. Tammy has the iPad whatever 14 here. I don't know what it is. Last year's iPad, but my old iPad 2 won't really load any modern apps, but it's a good 10 years old. So anyway, yeah, it could, they might run on the 7s and the 8s, but they may run slow. But that's really a technical department question.
So Vinay, I have a question from Karen. She said, if you sign up for notifications, can you specify what kind? Can you specify getting chat event notifications, but opt out of notifications each time? I can't.
You know what? What she means, I agree with, and the answer is yes. So if you go to settings, again, you click the profile button on the bottom right, then you click the three buttons at the 3 dots at the top. It'll take you to, there's a menu bar that comes up that says settings. When you click settings, there's a way to adjust different kinds of notifications that come in the app, and you can opt out of some of them. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. And Lori wants to know, can we follow users as well as the experts?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And wonderful. And then Pam wants to know, what are favorites?
Favorites are really just, Nutmeg Notebook is going to post some great content. So I'm assuming you guys are going to favorite all those. But, there's a little star underneath every post. And then in your profile, when you go into your own profile on the bottom right, you click profile, that's your own profile. Again, we ask everybody to update your bio and update anything that, so people get to know you. But there's also a favorites button. When you click favorites there, it'll list out all the content you've chosen to favorite from the beginning. That'll all go there.
And that'll help you if you start getting a lot of people, that will help you keep track of who all.
Exactly.
So Jesse wants to know, what does it mean when you see the word waitlisted on a photo of a user?
What it means is that that person more than likely had come in during the waitlist phase, which has been what the last few weeks have been. So we launched officially to the public yesterday. And so people that came in before that, they'll have a waitlisted picture. That's what predominantly that means. If you by any chance had an issue with uploading the picture, which we're fixing in the next couple of days, you'll see it, but that's been few and far between in terms of new users.
Okay. And then we did address this, but this person probably didn't hear it. Susan says, can you change your username? Yeah.
Right now you cannot, but if you were to message us and our team, we'll make sure that we do it as quick as possible for you. There's certain aspects that we can do, and that one would be one of them. Eventually we'll have it where you can edit your own profile, certain aspects of your profile.
Okay. And then Danielle says, would you consider adding a whole food plant-based SOS free category
at the initial sign up?
At the initial sign up.
So let me, Tammy, if you can message me exactly what you want that to look like, let me talk to the team, see if when we can add that in.
Okay.
Yeah, a statistic, a rough statistic today, because I would have to go find the research paper to back it up, but it's been used a lot in the plant-based community. Plant-based, and I think we're adding in people that follow a vegan lifestyle, represent about 5% of the population.
Wow.
So that's a lot of people. It's only 5%, but it's a lot of people. So when I was signing up and I was working through the food, health, wellness, whatever categories, I was always kind of working on a tangent. And so, yeah, I agree. It would be really simple to go whole food plant-based. I will comment to our audience here today that we are a subcategory of the whole food plant-based, that we go further into the SOS, the salt, oil, and sugar, no added salt, oil, or sugar in our recipes and things we present online. And that is yet even another subset. That would probably create confusion at that point of entry sign up, and plant-based or whole food plant-based would be more appropriate. We'll talk about SOS, I think, because that always has a need for explanation of what is SOS. In the general world, it means.
What I'll also add to that, sorry, Tom, what I'll also add to that is that in your content, you can also hashtag whatever else you want to hashtag. So if you want to hashtag those subcategories that you guys have created to each of your posts, you can hashtag that. And then what ends up happening is that people can see that hashtag, they can click to then follow that hashtag, and that then gets the system to learn more about pushing more of that content towards them as well. But they can also see all the content that's unorganized under whatever hashtags you want. When they click the hashtag, you can see all the hundreds of posts or whatever it may be under that specific hashtag.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
and I've been adding my own hashtags. I mean, you guys have some that I get to choose from, but then I go ahead and add my own in as well.
Yeah. So great question, Danielle. Thank you for, we actually talked about addressing that between Tam and I yesterday, and then we forgot to bring it up. So thank you for the reminder.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we are at an hour, and I want to be respectful of your time because I know that this is like a crazy week for you. But I want to, first of all, I want to thank you for sticking with it and creating this app and following your vision, because I know it's been quite an ordeal, but we've arrived, we're here, and it's so exciting. And thank you so much for giving us an hour of your time today to answer all these questions. Tom and I are going to go ahead, we're going to stay on and see if we can answer more questions that come up and just help people feel comfortable about using the app. And we will be in contact with you. I'll send you an email, and we'll be in contact with you. And I think Tom wants to say something.
Yeah, just on site for folks as we move forward over the coming days. Is there a support link or a contact us or something down available on the phone or on the computer website if somebody does need to reach out for onboarding support?
In settings, there's contact us. And when you go to contact us, you can definitely message us there, and our team will get to it as quick as possible to address that.
Okay, great. Just want to make sure that there was like a fail-safe of support in there.
Of course.
I know a lot of stuff, but I don't know everything.
No. And you know what? I just want to thank you guys as well. It truly was an honor to be on here and to be in front of your community, and for you guys to have me on, and just the trust and support that you guys have shown and the passion around what we're building and the encouragement this whole way has just been unparalleled. And so just thank you so much for everything. And we hope that, if this works and this grows into what we really all believe in our hearts that it can grow into, it's going to help millions of people globally. And I think that's what keeps us moving forward every day, to push forward to it, to really grow this and make this into something really, really impactful for everyone. And so, especially because you get so much information from social media, we want, from a health and wellness perspective, we feel it's a huge mission to build something that is just more meaningful to people from a health and wellness standpoint. So thank you for having us on, and thanks for all the support.
Oh,
you're very welcome.
You're welcome.
We'll see or hear you on the next Good Talk and in the next community forum. We'll jump in on one of those because I'm sure there's lots more to learn.
Hey, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. All right, you guys. You guys asked great questions today. We hope that we didn't miss any, but I wanted to be very respectful of Vinay's time, because I know that he is working around the clock right now, and trying to make sure that everything is running smoothly. So let's see. Now I saw that somebody said, Susan says, I've not updated my iPhone because we're afraid that some of our old apps will no longer be available. This drives the user to buy a newer phone. These phones are very expensive. They are very expensive. You are right. Thus, we've delayed our update. You have any comment about that?
Vinay being, the founder and CEO, he's not deep in the technical team questions. So that's why I asked about that support line. If you want to send them, I have a model iPhone 6S or Galaxy, whatever, will the app work on that?
Well, I think you go and you download it and try it and see if it works.
Yeah.
And then also, really, I encourage you to check out the goodself.com website. There's a lot of great information on the website. They have a frequently asked questions. They have a whole section that's for users, and then they have a whole section that is for the experts. And they do have tutorials on there that will help you. So if you are technically challenged, which many of us are, then that could be a good place to go to if you're having trouble figuring out how to make it work. And just like everything, remember, it's a learning curve, right? When I first started Facebook, when I first started Instagram, oh my goodness, when we first started doing YouTubes and then YouTube videos and then lives, it's a learning curve where you're going to make some mistakes.
I saw a question come in here. When we first loaded, I did the onboarding forms for Tami and loaded all in and got it all set up. And then they couldn't find us. And actually somebody in the chat feed asked that question. But you down in the lower right-hand corner, there's a little silhouette of a person, and you click on that, and that shows you your profile. So that brings your name up, your title, if you're an expert, your bio for everyone once they get that filled out. And then on our site, it shows all of the posts that we've been making. So, but initially I filled it out. Okay, so where are we? But Tami, I think, says, well, push on the little person icon and then it'll come up. So I ran into that myself right away.
Right. And then learning how to post. It's very similar for those of you who've been on Instagram. It works very similar to Instagram, and there is a search. So you can search for content. You can search for a subject matter. You just go on and play with it and explore it a little bit. It's encouraging to know that sometime next year they will have a desktop version for those of you who don't have a smartphone.
And then those community forums are for anybody that has any question about the whole, using the application that he mentioned. I didn't know that they're going to do it. So that really sounds like a really great idea.
And then I also know, just like how if you do a search on YouTube for how to do something on Facebook or how to do something on Instagram, somebody will make a video. I'm sure in the coming weeks that people will be making videos on, how to use the Goodself app. Somebody will be exploring that and making tutorials.
And there won't be much of that right now.
No, but it will be
our
YouTube
video. This YouTube video will probably be one of the first ones up if you do a YouTube search for Goodself, how to use Goodself.
We got lots of good information from Vinay today.
Yes, we did.
He had a lot of great answers.
Yeah, I did want to make a comment on content. This came up a little bit earlier, and I wanted to readdress it. We absolutely are going to continue to invest good quality time in what we do on YouTube. In terms of time management, if we're transitioning anything, we will continue to post on Facebook and Instagram. But some of the work that Tami was doing, which was quite a bit of time in developing video content for Instagram, those hours probably will be coming back around to do content that will be more searchable, more findable, more accessible on Goodself. Because stuff goes into that. It's great for the moment on Instagram, and then it kind of flows into the past and is lost. And she was committing quite a few hours into Instagram video content. And it's like, how is this benefiting the community? We think her time will be more beneficial if we, reconvey some of that over into you back to YouTube and then on over into Goodself. We won't be disappearing from those platforms. They're great for, getting the word out, making announcements, short little nudges and bits of news. But not the hours that we were pouring into
Making reels.
Instagram reels and shorts and stuff, which I was spending editing time. So, I really enjoyed the end result of our hummus video, which I think is we reposted that on this platform.
I think it's on YouTube
because it's, a real quick thing, but it took me hours to make this 1 minute video in that format. So it was kind of a fun exercise, but not a practical use of time, perhaps.
Well, that's exactly it. And that's what people don't realize is that those short version videos, people are spending a ton of time on those, editing them, editing and getting them down so they're very streamlined and smooth so that it all flows. And then adding in all the text and then adding in the music. And
making sure my music transitions occur when the blender gets turned on.
Just like it's hours of time that people are spending on those. And it's just crazy.
Yeah. So click on, is it on the Goodself app? The no oil hummus?
It is.
Yeah. If you want to see a work of art, click on the no oil hummus on the Goodself app and enjoy. It's short.
I have 3 videos posted on there. I have why I went plant-based. I have the hummus one, and then I have 5 tips to help you eat healthy.
Yeah, we should put your plant-based journey video our very first YouTube recording from 5 or 6 or 9 years ago.
I think we should.
You think we shouldn't?
That was like one of the very first videos that I did.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
It's so cute.
Wow. So we need to make a new one for that. So anyway, thank you guys all, for everybody who's already gone over to the Goodself app and has downloaded it and followed.
Invite your friends that don't follow us, that haven't heard about this. When you do sign up, they ask you where you heard about it. So we forgot to ask him that at Nutmeg Notebook or Tami Kramer.
They're finding it either way.
Okay.
They're either putting in Tami Kramer or they're putting
at Nutmeg Notebook.
At Nutmeg Notebook,
which is our official Goodself handle. Yeah.
So, and if you've joined us late, he did say that if you're in a European country, they are rolling it out slowly, and eventually it will be available nationwide.
They probably
globally.
They probably have to make sure, particularly in Europe, the terms, the use terms, the information, there's a lot more information. We have run into that on our site. We have to comply with European information use, GDPR or something. I don't remember the acronym. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you're perfectly safe giving them your phone number. We have a number of apps that ask for our phone number, and that is wonderful because nobody else can have your phone number. And so that allows you to have security for your particular
and using
account.
It for authentication.
We use it for authentication for Facebook and for Instagram. And, because that way, if there is an issue and they send a code, that code only goes to your phone and you're the only one that will get that code. And that is how they know that you are the original owner of that account. And so that's important. And they do not share any of that. They're not sharing your email information or your phone number or your name, nothing, or your birth date. That is all secure and very, very private. So I just hope that makes you all feel better about that. So let's see. Tiffany says, yes, the editing is a job all of itself. Indeed, it is. Danielle says, so happy you're both feeling better. Thank you so much. We're having to kind of rein it in. 2 days ago, we were feeling really, really good. And so we worked hard all day and we're fairly physical. And then yesterday was a little bit of a setback because yesterday we didn't feel quite as energetic because we probably had done too much. So we're trying to find the right speed, I guess, of what to do. Because
Yeah, well, we did do that. What's happening with COVID live show yesterday that will be in our library now.
yeah, you can watch that. If you didn't
yeah.
see us, we did a live.
Talked all about our experience with the current version of COVID, but yeah, she's waking up now with a return of a little bit of a scratchy throat.
Mhm.
I woke up this morning with just a little bit of a headache. So now,
Of course, the weather changed too. And
That-
so the weather,
Yeah,
the
we have-
barometric pressure always has an effect on
yeah,
your
we
head.
have a big Pacific storm coming through. So middle of the country, East Coast, we're gonna get through this today, and then we're sending it on over to you. It's a big one. Enjoy. We're getting like 3 feet of snow in the mountains today.
So Cheryl says she just clicked on someone's profile on Goodself and the phone number was there, but she thinks it was meant to be there. And some healthcare providers,
That want to
who
be
are-
contacted can
Yes.
put it in their profile.
that's right. If you want to be contacted, then you can put it in there. It's just like on Instagram or Facebook. If I wanted to, I could be giving you all my phone number. I'm not gonna do that, but
Yeah, we may
but-
have our email listed in there. We may have Tom and or we may have Tammy and nutmegnotebook with the profile.
I don't know that we did. We'll have to look and see again.
Yeah.
But and so some healthcare professionals may have their phone number in there so that people can contact them. Especially now, since you can do telehealth, then that's a very common thing for the health experts to do now,
Yeah.
is to provide that. So
Yeah, and we do plan on finding from our own resources. But moving on, talking about what we put on the site moving forward,
mhm.
and it's going to be some editing work, so don't look for it tomorrow. But like if we can
Spill my
find
tea.
4 or 5 minutes of our recent interview with Dr. Greger about a
Oh,
particular
uh-huh.
subject, then we may encapsulate that conversation about that subject, and I'll go ahead and put that up as a post about that subject on our platform. Same thing with Dr. Goldhammer. If we have something from him that's a 4, 5, 8 minute segment about a particular subject, we'll encapsulate that in the video and
Mhm.
put that on Goodself. Again, with the those become searchable, findable little gems of information. But then that's also there because there are so many health professionals, healthy lifestyle people on this platform. We're hoping that they will stumble across us and find these little gems of information and go, what about this whole food plant-based thing? What's going on with that? And that they'll dig in and want to learn more. So
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. We're very happy that we can be there on the Goodself app because it is a health and wellness app, but we don't want to seclude ourselves and, only have our content be seen by people who are whole food plant-based, because we can't evangelize about a whole food plant-based platform to people outside of our community if we're not open to the community. And so we are. And Tom and I feel like we appreciate when people respect the way that we've chosen to eat. And because of that, we respect other people's decision to not eat like us. But that doesn't mean that we can't be a good example. That doesn't mean that, we're not going to, shy away from eating with our family and our friends who follow the standard American diet, because we are in a living example of what can happen if you adopt this lifestyle. And so
it always seems to generate questions, though.
I was just going to say,
and we're not the ones necessarily bringing it up.
we never do. But when we get together, of course, we didn't get to see anybody on Thanksgiving, but normally if we get together with extended family for holidays, then the question comes up, are you guys still eating plant-based? Yeah, we are. And then they'll say, wow, you guys are still looking good. Wow, you guys are so healthy. And so, if we weren't willing to get together with them, even though they're going to eat standard American diet food, if we said, well, we're not going to go to a holiday where there's standard American diet food made, we wouldn't have the opportunity to be an example to them. And so they respect the way we eat. So we like to respect their food choices as well. I'm not going to cook any of that stuff. I'm only going to share the kind of food that we eat, but it allows the conversation to organically happen. And so
I see Jesse posted this Goodself
oh, thank you,
questions,
Jesse.
and I have their regular.com address in there, so I need to go find that and add that to the show notes.
That would be good. Thank you so much for doing that, Jesse.
In fact, I'm going to click on it and do that now. I'm going to put the camera over to you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so Tom will add that to the show notes as well. I see Mona says she got a fruit cake today. Yikes, y'all. It needs to go straight into the freezer. Very good.
Good thing Jesse's here and we have some adult supervision.
Jessie keeps us on the straight and narrow. She is so quick on her iPad or her computer. She just finds everything very quickly. So do you already have your plans in the works for Christmas? Do you know what you're going to make? I have absolutely no idea, since we didn't get to enjoy Thanksgiving dinner. I'm still kind of pining towards getting to make the lentil loaf and mashed potatoes and the mushroom gravy, but we haven't, we can't taste anything, so there's no point in going to all that work. But I posted on Instagram and Facebook, I did make the hearty lentil vegetable stew. And so we took the lid off of it last night, and we were expecting this like big explosion of aroma to come out. And we stood over it, and Tom was like, well, what'd you say? Did you say it was steamy?
It smelled warm and moist.
That's right.
That's all I could detect.
Yeah, it smelled warm and moist. We were like, okay, well, we ate a bowl of it, even though we couldn't taste it. A friend of ours yesterday said, you just have to eat for nutrition right now. You're not eating for flavor, but you need to eat, because you kind of feel like, well, what's the point? If I can't taste it, then what is the point? But anyway, we're doing the best we can. All right. Well, I'm starting to lose my voice.
Yeah, we better go.
Okay.
Yeah, there was just one quick comment I'll make on inclusion. What Tammy was talking about on our diet is when we're with extended family, the standard American eaters kind of will be at one end of the table, and all the plant-based people will be at the other end of the table. We don't separate the family over that. We keep ourselves together so that we can have the conversation. About the only thing that ever comes into our house might be one of our family members, when we order, if we have a birthday or something and we're ordering plant-based pizzas or something, they may bring something that has a standard American animal product on it, but that is kept away from everything else.
And we do allow it. We know that other people don't, but here's the thing. When I go to their house, they let me bring my vegan, plant-based, SOS-free food. And so and
they wind up eating more of it than you might expect and liking it.
Yeah. And so when we invite them to our house, I do not make anything with animal products. But if they want to bring their main entree and it is an animal product, yes, we do allow them to do that. Because I have to respect the way that they eat. And I'm not going to not have family time with members because of the way they eat, because I don't want them to be that way towards us. I don't want them to
Or be
reject.
excluded from our information.
Thank you. I don't, yeah. And I don't want to be excluded from their family event because they say, well, you know, those guys don't eat meat, so we're not going to eat with them. And so that is just the way
Now,
that
we went through that with our original group. When we first went plant-based, we were essentially excommunicated from our social group because a
dinner group that
they
we were in.
did not want to deal with those plant-based people, that was just too weird for them. But that was a good,
That was a good lesson because it was very hurtful.
yeah, 7 years ago.
To be excluded because of the way we ate. Well, actually, it was 9 years ago.
9 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, to be excluded because of our food choices. I mean, that was just terrible.
I would prefer not to have, a carcass of something go by. And if there is something like that, I tend to sit at the other end of the table at another venue, not here.
But like our son-in-law is not 100% plant-based. Our daughter only cooks plant-based, but when he has the opportunity eating out or bringing food in, he might order something that has animal products in it. And we're not going to tell him that he can't come to our house and eat and bring something in, because I'm not going to exclude my son-in-law from family events, or I'm not going to judge him for the way he chooses to eat.
And it's a chance for him to taste some more plant-based delicious food, and
which he loves. And he loves our food.
Yeah.
So, and he happily eats it and is never disgruntled about what we make. So anyway, so that's our personal choice. That's how we get along with family and friends who don't eat like us. And we don't want to make food be an issue on whether or not we'll get together with someone.
Dusty agrees with me on no dead carcasses.
Yeah, I mean, we would absolutely prefer it, but also, we love and care for everybody unconditionally, and so that's our choice.
Okay, it has been an hour and a half, sweet.
Okay, well, we better go then.
Yeah.
Jesse, Tiffany, thank you so much for being here and helping us today. And you gals showed up yesterday for that impromptu live. If you guys didn't see it, go back and watch that. And then if you are watching this and you entered the rice paddle giveaway, we had one person who we've not heard back from yet.
Chelsea, have you emailed us? Chelsea, you entered the rice paddle contest.
And you were one of the names selected.
You are one of our 10 winners. And
Tom has emailed you twice.
And I do not have your address. So email me because Corey wants to get those spoons sent out, and probably
paddles.
Rice paddles. Yeah, not this week.
Next week.
Hopefully by the end of next week, those will be going out the door.
That's right. So there you go. I'm Tami.
And I'm Tom.
And we help you
get healthy and stay healthy. One meal at a time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys.